Today is Thursday, May 21st, 2015. This rant will be on Mr. Billy O'Reilly and the recent revelations of spousal abuse. Now, I don't take any comfort in talking about spousal abuse. It's a terrible, terrible thing. And I don't take any comfort in talking about the fact that a child had to see what was written up in the not in divorce papers, the custody issues about seeing Mr. Billy O'Reilly dragging his wife down the stairs with his arms around her neck, which was in there. So I don't take anything out of this. It's a very sad and terrible thing whenever a marriage has to break up and that there are children involved. And I am very, very well aware of all of that. Having said that, the liberals, progressives, we really don't like Billy. Now, the thing about Billy that I really like about him is the fact that he and his staff, let's just refer to it as he, is an excellent writer, or he has excellent staff people writing for him. He covers a lot of ground in very little territory, and he really accentuates his point of view. Now, I don't agree with the things that he has to say. How do I want to put it? I know who he is. I understand his grand plan for living. I understand that he is an authoritarian. I understand that he is a social dominator. And these are the types of things that get him into a lot of trouble. Now, like I said, I don't take any great pride in all of this, but it does show one thing about Billy is, this is a guy who year after year after year mocks, belittles, degrades, really has some terrible things to say about people of color and about poor people. And the reason he can justify it is because it fits in his worldview. And that worldview is that, number one, he is a chosen one. Because anybody that gets up there on national TV and says that they woke up one day and that God had told them to write a book on Jesus or to write the book on Abraham Lincoln or who was did he do John Kennedy? I don't know. He did Patton. But if anyone says that person is never to be believed. But he believes that. And his worldview, his vision, is that he's got his, and what keeps poor people down, what keeps people of color down, and he's been very emphatic about this: structure, discipline, the family structure, unwed parenthood, disrespect, all of that type of stuff. He blames the parents. He seems to even blame the children. When we have study after study after study that shows if you can help a child, you can help a child in bad circumstances. But we have not done very much in the United States. Even though we had some laws passed in the 60s, the Republicans have starved the beast, when it comes to providing for those in need, providing food so the kids can have a decent meal before they get into school, and it gives them a better opportunity to learn, because it's very difficult to learn when you're hungry. A better school system, more money into the schools that are in the inner city so that we can train these children, that we can teach these children. But Billy's worldview really is that it's the structure, it's the discipline, it's the good. That's the other thing. It's either good or evil. It's not. There's no gray area with Billy. It's either right or it's wrong, and there's no gray area with Billy. It's either good or it's bad, and there's no gray area with Billy. So Billy has this grand plan for living that, in my humble opinion, sucks. And people of his ilk, don't like to use that in a negative way, but people that feel much the same way as him, they reinforce this stuff all the time. And I always like to say that I have worked in the ghetto, so to speak. I have worked at public housing, and I've seen a lot of people there that didn't have a whole lot get up every single day and went to work, and where they didn't get paid a whole heck of a lot. And they came home every day, and that's how they lived their life. And they had a place that was not much bigger than this room and the room next to mine right here. And were trying very hard, but there were a lot of things against them. And Billy doesn't want to look at any of those things, doesn't want to look at redlining, doesn't want to look at labor laws, doesn't want to look at all kinds of other things that kept black people down for long periods of time. And the first thing that'll come out of his mouth when you start talking about helping him out more is restitution. But let's get back to this thing. So what Billy has in the child care case, in the custody case, that he was trying to strangle his ex-wife. Really a terrible thing. And what we have now, pretty well on display, is a man who in many instances is out of control. In the deposition, or whatever you want to call it, for the child custody, it did talk about how Billy admitted that he had anger management problems, that he would blow off the handle. I can't remember the exact words. He would have to go outside and punch a tree, yell and scream. His wife was scared of him. His daughter was scared of him. He also referred to his wife as an adulterer to his child. Whew. Oh my God. It's almost want to cringe that you can say things like that and feel good. Whew. That's the right thing. Tried to get his wife excommunicated because she took communion. As a recovering Catholic myself, I still I don't go very often anymore, but I would get communion. Who gives a shit? All right? So what they got these stupid laws? But he tried to use his political sway to get her. He tried to use his political sway to have her now husband investigated when they were first dating, and he was a investigator for the NYPD or some type of police organization up there. So what we have here is Billy has a long history of fabricating things, of denying things, of going off on the handle. We're doing it live! Remember that? I can't imagine what it must be like behind the scenes with him. And also a lot of misogyny, so to speak. So he has a long history of all these things. All the things in the early 80s in terms of the Falkland Wars and the war in El Salvador, all let's just say, exaggerated embellishment of what was going on there. And then he had the thing where he was trying to date someone at Fox News. He used some really terrible language, leaving, you really have to have a lot of gall to leave a recording like that on somebody's phone and say that's what you're going to do to them. But that's who he is. Now, the one thing I'd like to say here, maybe it's time that Billy just took a couple years off, like Letterman, and just got on a couch and talked to someone as to why he is so angry about everything and why he thinks he can tell people of color what they need to do to get out of poverty. One of the recent things was he talked about how only 10,000 American fighters, could go over and defeat ISIL. And it looks like if that were to happen, we would probably need 10 times as many, if not 20 times as many. And remember, the Iraqi government's not doing that well, so we might have to stay there for 100 years. So it, and he's adamant that he's right about these things. But what I'm seeing here is a very shallow man who has to get his way all the time for whatever reason, and is willing to exact retribution on anyone who crosses his path. That's not the type of person that should be on any news show. let alone Fox News. Because here's the example. At Fox News, they want to prove that conservatism is the best. They need the best people out there, not someone who's got a lot of issues. It's a huge amount of issues going on in that head of his. And that should be he needs to take care of that, and he needs to take care of that soon. Fox should do the right thing, and he should do the right thing and step down.